Hello, this is Josh Oakes with MediaLeaders.com. In this very short video, I want to show you a couple techniques that I've learned on how to speed up your WordPress site. Now, I'm not a WordPress expert. There's a ton of them out there, and they're way better than me. I'm a business owner that had to figure this out on his own. So let me show you a few tricks. What are we going to cover? First, how do you test your speed? I'll show you a tool. Next, do you need caching? And then, if so, what is it? Next, what's a content delivery network? I'm going to show you how I do that. And then I'll show you what it is, and then you'll find out if you need it. And then how do you reduce image sizes in WordPress? That's going to be the coolest part of today. So let's jump in real fast. Let's jump over to first our website, MediaLeaders.com, as you are familiar with because you're probably watching it. I'm going to show you how we're going to speed up a couple of these little pages, especially this one, this next event that we have in Los Angeles, a West Side Fun Mixer. But here's the tool you're going to go to. It's pingdom.com, P-I-N-G-dom.com. Go all the way down to the bottom. You're going to notice, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see Pingdom Tools. Do you see that down there? Click on that. This is a free tool, website speed test. It's pretty nice. There's a lot of them out there. This one people seem to trust the most. So you go over to your site. You can go over to your front page, or you can go interior. I'm going to right-click and go copy link address, and I'm going to go into an interior page, and I'm going to run this speed test on this. So I put it in there. I do settings. I don't want to save this test and make it public. You can pick where it scans, but just click the test now. Hang on, starting test. And what it's doing is their servers are loading it, and it's timing and doing the requests, and it's doing all this data. And it may load really slow, it may load fast. Now, your website is faster than 32% of all tested websites. That's really slow. That's really slow. 4.85 seconds. So we're going to look at it. Sometimes it's my cache, sometimes it's other stuff. I'll tell you the problem, and the reason why it's so bad is because I have a ton of plugins. I've got 33 active ones because I have a bunch of little fancy stuff happening. So the first thing to do is to look on this Pingdom thing and figure out, why is this huge delay happening here? What's going on? Sometimes there's a huge delay. Now, am I the world's biggest expert? No, but I know how to fix the smaller stuff. So this is a CSS thing. I've got a lot of CSS going on here, which is a bunch of stuff for the style. There's tracking code. There's some Ajax. I probably could get rid of some of this, and I might someday hire a professional. But you see this yellow. Let me show you the color coding with Pingdom. This is really fun because you'll see some of the things are really large. Pink is DNS. I seem to have a lot of receiving stuff. The web browser's receiving data. We've got some SSL, some sending, and a lot of waiting. If it's waiting for data from your server, see all the green? That's good. Category and stuff. So look at all this waiting that's happening. That's not good, right? So now that we've seen kind of what this looks like, let's say we had a large image in there or something, we'd know what to reduce. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But the first thing I really wanted to talk to you about is, what is caching? Well, caching, what this does is every time you load this page, let's say this social media webinar image was 600 by 600. It was much larger. This is about 200 by 200. It would have to then go to the database and the files and say, all right, I have to load this at 200 by 200. Give me this file. Let's resize it just for the front page for this request. Okay, now let's resize the next one. Okay, now let's resize it. If it has to resize a lot and load all this crazy stuff, then it gets really, really, really slow. So you create caching, because caching will then take this and say, all right, it's a front page, it's pretty static. Let's take the 600 by 600 and let's reduce it down to just 200 by 200, and let's serve up that smaller file because it seems like that's all they're ever going to need. And really, it's just resizing it and saving a temporary front page that can load a lot faster and load once. So that's caching. For that, we use a plugin called WP Super Cache. I'm going to show you some of the plugins we use to speed things up. WP Super Cache. Now, some of the experts out there see there's this W3 cache system out there as well. Super Cache seems to work really well with our servers. It's a little bit more reliable. It doesn't do as much to the database. The W3 caching one seems to mess up the database every once in a while if you check in with HostGator. Alright, so that's what caching does. I recommend it for just about every website. It's very simple to add on. It's free. you can turn it on and so on. Now the next thing we're going to look at is, what is a content delivery network? Well, let's talk real quick about the caching. If caching is for images and static files, sometimes there's JavaScript stuff that takes a long time to load. And let's say you're in Japan and you're looking at the Media Leaders site. If you want to load JavaScript over there, it just takes a long time. It has to go between a bunch of servers and stuff. Well, we work with this company called MaxCDN, and there's a ton of them out there, and it's a content delivery network. And what it does is it delivers a lot of our, if we went to the front of MaxCDN, it delivers, and it seems to be broken right now, which is not so good for them, but it works really well for us. It'll deliver our JavaScript, which is all of our fancy little tiny things that do the fancy stuff. It delivers them all over the world, so it's a lot faster. It also solidifies and condenses them and all kinds of cool stuff. So we have caching going on plus content delivery network, so that there's all kinds of different servers delivering different stuff, so that you're never relying on the speed of the server. You're only relying on the speed of your internet connection. All right, so we reviewed a couple boring things. How do you test your speed? That's helpful. Do you even need caching? A lot of WordPress sites really should have it. What is content delivery network? I pay like $40 a month for that thing to make it twice as fast. It's helpful if you're scrappy like me and you can't afford $200 a month for a server. It really does deliver stuff. Now last, how do you reduce image sizes? This is something interesting. Let's go back to Pingdom. Let's go look and sort by load order. Let's sort by file size. You see that right there? Some of these are actually really big file sizes. And let's go look at some of these. We're actually going to... Sometimes there's a large file size. I'm going to show you one of these. It typically loads. It's called Tiempo. See how this one's 579 kilobytes? That's half of a megabyte. It's a 300 by 92 logo, Tiempo development. Well, I uploaded one of our sponsors' logos pretty large, and it's a bit big. So what I'm going to do is take you in the back. You can upload them at any size you want and turn on your caching to try and save space, but it seems like it's still loading sometimes full capacity. Go into your WordPress, go up to library in the upper left. You'll see this. And this is the most recent stuff I've uploaded. Let's click edit, because I never really need this thing 300 pixels wide. I need it a lot smaller. This actually looks much larger than that, 360 wide. I really only ever need it 200 wide. So let's click on the edit image button right here, which is pretty easy. And then we're going to click up here in the upper right, scale image. Rather than 360, let's try and make it 250, and let's see if that saves a bunch of space. Now, do you see see how much smaller it is? Let's actually scale the image down to 200, because I think that's all I'm ever going to need here. And if I load it once, just the raw image, it just saves a lot. See how nice the size is there now? Now I'm going to go click Update over here on the right-hand side. Then I'm going to go over to our WP Super Cache, which if you go to Settings, it ends up down here. You click on WP Super Cache. I like to clear the cache, delete my cache, this big button right here, so that when I load the front page of the site, the next West Side Mixer at Stella, it has refreshed all these. It's cleared all the temporary website things, and it's now showing me just the size. In fact, I downsized this one. It's kind of nice. I made it 300 by 300, so it's loading a lot faster. And I also will make the Tiempo, I actually am going to make this smaller. It's resizing it and everything, but I'll make it a lot smaller so it just looks the size that I want, and I'll load it the exact size that it is in the data in the files. It'll load a lot faster that way. So if I were to go back to Tools in Pingdom, tools.pingdom.com, you can go down to the bottom and find this again, and let's put that in there, paste it in there, Marina Del Rey networking event. Let's see if we can get that one Tiempo logo to be smaller than half of a megabyte. 500 kilobytes is 1/2 of a megabyte. Now this page size is still really big. It's slower than 76%, but let's see if we can sort by file size. And it was putting, I think, kilobyte. Let's go tiempo. So it looks like it's still big. I probably need to go over to this, manage the cache, purge all the cache, and so on. But you get the idea. I'm now shrinking this file size typically, and it might be in their cache or something. You can reduce a lot of file size by making your images a little bit smaller and having them load natural. Okay, so let's review what we've covered. How do you test your speed? I showed you pinged them. Go to the bottom, use their speed test system. Why do you need caching? Well, it creates temporary versions of your site, so you're not doing a lot of calculating and slowing down. It's ready to go. What's a content delivery network? It takes a lot of this JavaScript and all this lightweight thinking that happens on top of your site, delivers it to multiple servers around the world, so anywhere that you're at, you don't have to rely on Josh's server in Arizona or Los Angeles. It delivers the slower stuff really in a quick manner anywhere in the world. I'm on 10 different servers around the world, and so, or something like that. Now I'm a businessman, so there's probably somebody out there that goes, Josh, here's exactly how it works, but I know what it does for my company's site because I need it to work. And then how do you reduce image sizes in WordPress? I mean, that really is a huge part of this. I'll probably reload this to make it really small. In fact, I'll do that. I'm going to pause the video. We're going to come back and it'll be done. Hold on one sec. Okay, so I went into the code. I made the image smaller. I repositioned it in there. I cleared the cache. I cleared the CDN, so around the world it also clears everything. And now we have it much smaller, and I'm rerunning the pingdom, and it's a little bit quicker. So there you go, my friends. Let's take a look at what we've reviewed very, very quickly. First, how do you test your speed? Why do you need caching? And really, if you just go test your speed and you think it's slow and you have a lot of plugins like I do on, you can just figure out which ones are really, really slow, turn those off, or fix them really quickly. And then you can use a content delivery network if you want to. Max CDN seems to be really easy. There's also one out there that's called, that is an Amazon CDN that's pretty impressive that you should look into. And then how do you reduce image sizes in WordPress? I showed you that, really basic. So my name is Josh Oakes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, am I the world's best at WordPress? No, but I got a bunch of little tricks. We have other WordPress videos as well. Please subscribe to our channel so that we can show you some other fun stuff. Comment below with any tips or any ideas or any suggestions that you have for us. I'm Josh Oakes. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care.